How I find untapped YouTube niches and completely copy them from scratch to print an insane amount of money through the use of YouTube automation. Now guys, this is going to be essentially a speedrun video of exactly how I would find and identify a brand new YouTube niche that's essentially untapped with scalability and of course replicate every single process to go ahead and automate the whole thing through the use of AI. Now this is going to be a direct guide on exactly how I find brand new ultra long form, specifically faceless YouTube niches that have RPMs of upwards of $25 and exactly how to replicate it. Let's get right into it. Now guys, really quickly, if you want to go ahead and work directly with me, I don't expect you to directly up before seeing this video, but if you do want to go ahead and book a call directly with me, check out start.innovault.co. Once again, booking a call is completely free and will just give us a good idea if we can help you. And of course, if you want to go ahead and join my public Discord server, it's discord.gg/1%. It's a super cool community where we sort of connect and share results on YouTube automation as a whole. Now, getting straight into it, of course, as I said, this is going to be an essential speed run. So first of all, how do I find and identify brand new niches? Now, this of course varies depending on the sort of style of content or sort of niche you're looking for. Now, of course, to start off with, and this video in specific is going to be about ultra long form niches. Now, how would I identify a long form niche or an ultra long form niche? First of all, if you guys don't know what an ultra long form niche is, it's essentially a channel that has an RPM, meaning how much you're paid per 1,000 views, of upwards of $30 to even $40 per 1,000 views. Here's an exact example, The Storyteller. Now, these guys obviously post ultra long form scary stories, 4 to even 8 hours, and the RPM on these videos is astronomically high. It's like $40, and they're obviously pulling in about 500,000 views a month. So this one channel is pulling in like $20 to even $30,000 in revenue every single month. And the craziest part is that these videos are 1,000% automated through the use of AI, and of course take little to no effort on the creator's end. So how would I find a niche like this? You guys can see these niches are sort of structured towards people to fall asleep to. So the very first method I use, and I've already made this clear in a different video on my main channel, but it is called the SEO method, and this is going to directly funnel into the next thing I talk about. So what do I mean by SEO? Obviously search engine optimization. Let's say I want to find an ultra long form niche. What you can actually look up is 4 hours of to fall asleep to. Now I know that's a bit of broken English, but by doing this, what it's going to essentially do is give us a bunch of kind of niches on YouTube and videos with that specific term that are already published, that are essentially 4 hours long and have that sleep style. And then we can go ahead and optimize this even further by filtering it by this week. Now you guys can see right here, 2 hours of Reddit stories and Minecraft to fall asleep to. This is obviously a brand new niche that I've just found in literally 5 seconds. And of course, you can see these videos are just Minecraft gameplay with Reddit stories in the background. This is actually insane. If we go ahead and check his view stats, he is pulling in every single month 411,000 long form views. Videos are about 3 to 4 hours long. We're going to go ahead and presume an RPM of about $20 on this 4-hour content. And this one channel that only recently started about 3 months ago is pulling in $8,000 in profit every single month. And once again, I found that niche just like that in like 5 seconds of scrolling. Now, if we go ahead and watch these videos.
Everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Tonight, I've got a mix of wild.
This is a 100% AI script, obviously an AI voice. And of course, the background footage is just Minecraft free to use footage. You can look up Minecraft free to use survival gameplay, and of course this is completely free to use, so you could essentially create these videos in little to no time. And of course, look at this: Minecraft survival, relaxing, long mountain tunnel, no commentary. You can just use these content that give you full rights to, and you can do it with no copyright, and essentially just write the script with AI, do the voiceover, pop it onto this, and export the video, and you have finished a 4-hour long video with a $30 RPM. Now that is the SEO method, and of course this works for far more than just ultra long form niches. You can bring this into, for example, regular long form. So we could look up, for example, why it sucks to be born as. For example, this niche is blowing up, like why it sucks to be born as a panda, why it sucks to be born as an immortal jellyfish. Of course, we can once again go ahead and filter it by this week, and we can find sub niches of different types of channels. So as you can see more dinosaur based channels. We can see more sea lamprey, kind of, prehistoric creatures and different kinds of animals. So don't think that when you are doing this, you are set to ultra long form. Everything we're kind of showing in today's video is going to be scalable past just that and across any sort of niche you might be looking into. Now, the next method that I really want to touch on, and that is very overlooked, is called the X method, or obviously previously known as Twitter. So as much hate as I am going to get for this, I use this myself personally to find tons of untapped niches. Literally, you go on Twitter, you can look up YouTube niches, and if you go ahead and simply press enter and filter this by latest, you will see a ton of kind of untapped YouTube niches. Once again, you can filter this by top as well, and you will will see if I scroll for a few minutes, 6 profitable YouTube niches. We can see one right here, Wild Hope, blowing up at the moment, very long AI content. This one, Stoic Soul, another obviously AI-based content, another one, and another one. And of course, you can simply scroll for like 5 minutes and you will just find an insane amount. I mean, judging by this, there are actual Twitter accounts dedicated to just giving out YouTube niches. For example, this guy, Daily YouTube Niches, and they post every few hours. This one came out 3 minutes ago and 9 impressions so far, meaning you'll be the first person to kind of act upon this niche. Now that we know kind of how to identify and how to find a niche, the next step would obviously be copying it. Now, if I'm being 1000% transparent, that channel we just found prior, Vembo, that is a prime example of a niche that I would start tomorrow and really start building up and scaling to get to that $5,000 or even $10,000 a month mark. Now, how do we copy this niche? First things first, we have identified a niche that essentially has little to no work on our end. All we really need to be doing is, of course, script writing, voice acting, and thumbnail design. Once again, because the videos are entirely just commentary and drag and drop the 11 Labs file or the voiceover file, you essentially don't need to be doing any manual labor for this whatsoever. Now, how do we copy this? First things first, we want to go ahead and open ChatGPT. Next thing, we essentially need to find, and once again, this works in whatever niche you might be doing, we need to, of course, copy their transcript. Now, you can do this by looking up YouTube transcript downloader. Due to some recent TOS things on YouTube, I can't actually show the website itself, but look it up on Google, it's completely free. So all I'm going to do is, of course, download their transcript or their video right here. I'm going to put it into a downloader and I will cut back to ChatGPT. And here we go, guys. All I've gone ahead and done is said, I'm starting an ultra long form YouTube niche in the same style as this. And I obviously went ahead and attached a screenshot of their most popular videos. Then I simply said, make me a 2 to 3 hour long script that's engaging, optimized for viewer retention and AVD, and is relaxing enough for people to fall asleep to. You can, of course, fake the Reddit stories. Now, this is what comes very much in handy. We, of course, downloaded their transcript. So we can say, here's an example script. We, of course, pasted in their entire video script. And we said video title is 4 hours of Reddit story. So we can say, copy this competitor's script in the same pacing and style. Now, guys, by doing this, we've essentially taken what they've written and, of course, replicated it and built off it. So our ChatGPT model can essentially replicate the style and pacing one for one. Now, when you are doing this script part of the segment, you'd of course want to be using deep research. Essentially, if you don't use this, what's going to happen is this, it's going to kind of not make it 2 to 3 hours. It'll probably be about 30 to 40 minutes and you're going to have to keep doing new parts and new parts. Yes, you can do it if you are working on a budget, but I would really recommend just using deep research. Now, for the sake of today's video, I'm not going to go ahead and use that just because it takes about 10 to 20 minutes to really wait for it to load and of course do all the information. So here you go. You can still see one for one exactly what's happening, but let me go ahead and make it start. It obviously asked me kind of what style I want, whether it's about horror stories, workplace stories, relationship drama, and here we go. It's gone ahead and begun writing the script. Now, what I'm going to actually go ahead and do is essentially get it to kind of further optimize and make it better for kind of YouTube automation as a whole. So what I said was make the script. I want it kind of warm. Also, don't send me like intro ... Just make the whole thing text. And here we go. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a cozy mix of HOA disasters, neighbor feuds, and those perfectly ridiculous stories. Once again, this is one for one, the exact same style of script that this Vembo guy is doing to print $10,000 a month. And we've just replicated the script in literally less than a few minutes. And of course, all that would be next is if you are doing this, I would recommend using deep research once again. It does work without, but it just won't be as perfect. But let's presume you did use deep research and it essentially finished your script. Or you'd of course go ahead and do Control-C, download that script, and I would go ahead and essentially place it into a new Google document. So of course, we've gone ahead and done that. Now, once you have it in your Google document, you'd of course want to go ahead and go on to kind of the next part of this, which is of course ChatGPT optimization. Remember guys, when you are working with a model like this, you can work on it, right? This will save as a specific chat. So let's say for reference, we were copying the Venmo channel. We can go ahead and simply press the open sidebar, refresh this page. And of course, this new chat has just popped open. We can go ahead and rename this to Venmo script writing. And now we can simply come back to this same chat every single time we need to do a new video. And once again, the most imperative part is the fact that you can kind of work and further optimize the script even further. For example, I could say make it more inviting, make it more warm, make it more optimized for AVD, make the retention optimization even better. And the opportunities are endless. And once again, you can continue working and growing this as you go, and it would take you less than a few hours to really make a perfect model. And of course, now that we've kind of optimized our script and have the script itself, all that's next is of course doing the voiceover. And guys, once again, if you want to work directly with myself and my team, check out start.innovault.co. We've just recently launched up this program. It's a really cool environment. Once again, you can book a completely free call with me to see if we're a good fit. Once again, guys, if you want to go ahead and do that, start.innovault.co. Now, the next thing is, of course, 11 Labs for the voiceover. Now, when you are doing an ultra long form niche like this, I completely understand that 11 Labs may be slightly too expensive for the voiceover, simply because, of course, you are going to be needing 4-hour long voiceovers every single day. There are a few alternatives. I myself do prefer 11 Labs, but there are a few alternatives. For example, there is Algrow.online. Once again, this video is not sponsored at all, but this essentially gives you free 11 Labs for like $17 a month, and you get unlimited access to voice generations. Once again, not sponsored whatsoever. I just found it a few days ago. It was pretty interesting. But another alternative, if you don't want to go with that, is fish.audio. Now, once again, not sponsored. I want to emphasize that. But they do give you for $11 a month, 250,000 credits, which is once again, very, very good. So I see a ton of people making a big deal about 11 Labs and the fact that it's extremely expensive pricing wise, but realistically in a niche like this, the amount you're going to be spending on voiceover is really your only cost long term. Now, the craziest part about the niche we've just found is the fact that we only now have to handle thumbnail generation. We could essentially edit and export these videos completely in-house with zero editing skills and with very little time. As I said, you can simply go here, Minecraft gameplay, no copyright, and have a 20-minute long video that you can continuously just reuse. And once again, this is completely free to use. And there are thousands of videos just like this, even Minecraft parkour gameplay videos. For the sake of the niche we would be copying in today's reference, I would definitely recommend using a survival and just gameplay based one, solely because it is more so catered towards these kind of warm stories, if that sort of makes sense. And of course, we'd simply put that into our editing software with 11 Labs and with the script we generated, and bang, your entire video is completely done. Now, the only thing left aside from that would of course be editing and thumbnail team. But of course, in this specific niche, editing is kind of null and void. Of course, if you do need editing, you can go ahead and copy the same things I'm about to show you for thumbnail design, because they're essentially the same process. Now, the way that I handle thumbnail design is of course Upwork. There are alternatives to this. For example, you could make these thumbnails yourself pretty easily with about 10 minutes of Photoshop experience. But if you aren't willing to do this, you can simply head over to Upwork, press hire talent, post the job, essentially give a description of what you need, and set a fixed price to like $5 per thumbnail. I think that's quite fair for something like this. And realistically, if you could handle Algrow, for example, for $17 a month on the voiceover, and you could spend $5 a month, $5 a video on thumbnails, or even make them yourselves, you could automate a channel exactly like this for less than $20 a month. Now guys, once again, I hope you learned something new. This video was a ton of fun to make. If you want to go ahead and join my public Discord server, once again, it'll be linked down below, or you can go ahead and join discord.gg/1%. And once again, if you want to work directly with me, feel free to book a completely free call on start.innovault.co. Thank you guys so much for watching and have a great day.